Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I want to welcome you to another installation of Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis, where we take a closer look at how the Muslim community of the Metro Detroit area is being affected by COVID and is also contributing to America's response to COVID. This afternoon, I'm very pleased to be talking to Youssef Mosallam, Dr. Youssef Mosallam, who is the superintendent of the Crestwood School District. So how are you, Dr. Mosallam?
Well, alaikum assalam, and I'm doing very well, thank you. Hopefully you and your family as well.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, we're staying safe. We're staying at home. We're lucky
Yeah,
that we can work from home. So,
yes.
but so tell me how you're doing. How are things? How is your family? And how are things at Crestwood?
Family as well. I think just like all the families all over the world. I always have to remind people this is a pandemic, not an epidemic.
Hmm.
Um, we're all looking forward to the day and the time where we can start socializing more and doing more together. And I watch ESPN here and there, and I see highlights of games from years ago, and it feels like it was a different century. You see full stands and everything, but no, everybody's doing well, and just continuing to adjust with the changes that this pandemic has brought on to us. Missing the social interaction, and but really missing the kids being in school and the events, and that's really been the hardest part.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's an actual school year. I mean, for us either at the university level, it's like it's not a school year. I don't know what it is, but it's not a school year. But
Right.
so tell me what's happening in Crestwood. Where are you guys in the in the reopening or not reopening thing? Where are you?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are calling it a reintegration plan, and we chose that term on purpose because our main focus right now is to reintegrate our students and our community back into school slowly and safely. I stay away from the term to return to school because we're really not going to have the return to school, God willing, until the fall. When hopefully we'll come back to some normalcy.
Mhm.
So our community has been great. They've been very patient. They've been patient with me, which has been awesome, because we've put subcommittees together, and the subcommittees were broken up between pre-K and second grade, third through fourth, fifth through sixth, so on and so forth, because every grade level has a different need.
Mhm.
Um, and through the subcommittees, uh, I put forth some non-negotiables, which were that we want students learning every single day, the basic non-negotiables, and we wanted to ensure that transportation is equalized, technology is as equalized as possible, as well as lunches and breakfast.
Mhm.
Um, so the subcommittees report brought back some plans. We took those plans, we massaged them a little bit, and we had a study session with the Board of Education 2 weeks ago to uh, approve moving forward with further evaluation of the tentative plan. And I continuously reiterated that it was tentative because we wanted to have one base solid plan that families could look at and say, okay, this is what I'm going to choose to do, because we're giving families a choice to remain completely virtual,
Mhm.
but to also be, or to be hybrid, which means some days virtual, some days face to face. And a lot of questions came like, well, why? Why can't we just bring the kids back? And the problem that we face, as many districts face, is that we're a very densely populated community. And we're not a large district. I mean, we're a district of about 4,200, 4,300 students, which we're up. I mean, during this pandemic, we're up 200 to 300 students.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. That's
so
very unusual. Most schools have lost people.
yeah, very unusual. But hey, we're not complaining, and but being that we're so densely populated, our schools were built post World War II, the 1950s era. And the idea behind that was, that elementary schools would be neighborhood schools. Kids would be able to walk to school. So when these schools were built, classrooms were built for 16 to 23, 24 kids. Well, in a regular school setting, we have 30 to 32 kids in these classrooms. And so when you think about that, and with the dense population that we have, to follow through with the CDC guidelines of 6 feet of separation,
Mhm.
there is no way we can have kids coming in every day, all day. We just can't do it. We can't do it safely. I mean, that and safety is our first priority. So therefore, by putting together this tentative plan, families that choose the hybrid version would be on an A day, B day schedule.
Mhm.
And the idea behind it is if I'm an elementary school teacher, and let's say I have 32 students, and let's say 50% of my students choose to come back and 50% choose to stay online, then that's 15 students. One day I would have 7, the next day I would have 8. So I can do social distancing, and it's a safe situation. The dilemma that we face is that with the online students, we're going to be doing live streaming into the classroom.
Mhm.
So the teachers are going to be working, and I have a group of teachers who are looking at specifically grades pre-K through 4 and how that will look in order to support the kids that are online while the kids that are face-to-face at the same time. That's going to be a difficult part. And the idea behind it is that we want to give families an option. We do, but we want to give them an option in a safe environment. And I will tell you, it's like I've said it in all of the conversations I've had with the families that we know not everyone's going to be happy with whatever plan we go forward with.
Mhm.
We know that.
Mhm.
And we're not trying to make everyone happy.
Mhm.
And I've made that very clear. Our focus is to find the best of the worst case scenarios for the safety of our children, our staff members, and our community.
Yeah, and this way, I mean, I would love. I mean, we're talking about doing something similar on campus in the fall, where we teach because we're worried that we're still not going to be able to be 100% capacity in the fall, and we have the same problem. We have, relative the size of our student population, our classrooms are too small, for us to. So we're talking about having like an A B day where half the class comes on Monday and the other half the class comes on Wednesday. And for me, I would rather teach that way than do fully online or fully asynchronous teaching, because at least that way I'm getting to know the students. And if there's a problem, I can talk to the person face to face. And if the person is also, if the person is excited about something, you can share that. There's just so much more you can share face to face. So I think that this is actually a really well thought out solution.
Thank you. One of the dilemmas that we face, and we got to keep in mind, is this pandemic has really impacted our most marginalized children the most.
Mhm.
Okay. And, when I say marginalized, I mean those that don't have access, to regular things that many of us take advantage of. And the other piece that it's really impacting are the working parents,
Mhm.
trying to balance who's going to be with my child, because it's a reality, and it's a reality that a lot of people don't understand because they may have never lived it. And that's why I will be honest, when people either in the political realm or just in the community realm start comparing districts, it's unfair, because when you compare school districts, yeah, they're both fruits, they're educational environments, but they're different kinds of fruit.
Mhm.
And I always tell people that it's comparing apples to oranges. We're in the same category, but we're different. And there are districts who have fairly new buildings, who
Mhm.
have classrooms that can fit 40 children, which means they can have kids there every day, that it'll fit 18 kids, no problem, 6 feet of separation. Or economically, they can afford to get the technology for their children. I will say one of the biggest successes that we had as a district
Mhm.
was we were able to put a Chromebook in every single student's hand by November.
Mhm.
And that was one of our greatest accomplishments because that helped reduce that marginalization
Mhm.
for the families. Moreover, we were able, and we still are, we purchased, I want to say 15 to 22 internet accessible Wi-Fi systems for families who couldn't afford the internet,
That's
where we
super.
as a district are paying for that through the federal funds that were given to us to support through this pandemic.
Mhm.
So we have, like, and I don't know the exact number because I know it was 15 at one point, then we added some more later. We were able to help families who have never had internet access
Mhm.
have internet access during this pandemic. So our thing is trying to reduce that marginalized population,
Mhm.
because that's where education can fall through the cracks. And I think people on a national scale don't understand how many families don't have what we take for granted? And that's why when they talk about it at that federal level, it's like, come down to the school district, look at us, what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I get that each community is completely different. And your population, not only do you have, I mean, Dearborn Heights is not the same as Dearborn, but still, you probably have a lot of families where the parents aren't, they're not educated in English, you
Correct.
know? So you also have, that's a different kind of marginalized student or special needs student that you have in your district. I mean, every district is different. I mean, how could I say you're different from Dearborn and you're just right, you're embedded in Dearborn practically. But
Yes.
yeah, I agree, this is unprecedented. I mean, there is no one has ever had to do this before.
No.
And so yeah, so of course you're being creative, you're solving problems on the fly. It sounds good. It sounds like you're doing very well there in Dearborn Heights. So
We
congratulations. So we're kind of running out of time actually, but I do want to give you a chance to say, so if there's like one one example of something that you've done that you're especially proud of. Okay, you just mentioned the Wi-Fi, that's a good one. But if there's something else, if there's one individual whose story you want to share, or some little heroic act that you've observed this past year, I would love to hear that.
Well, I am going to mention a kindergarten teacher by the name of Mrs. Fleming.
Okay.
Um, she has, as well as many others, there are many others, but her name pops up because I just recently received some information. You know, what this pandemic has done, especially, and Mrs. Fleming is an example of it, is it's truly illustrated to the community that teachers are angels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mrs. Fleming is a kindergarten teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And as she goes out of her way on a regular basis, as well as many others do, to make sure that the children not only are getting the best academic experiences possible, but they're also getting that social and emotional development and that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had so many people in the community who have said to me when they see me at the grocery store or wherever it is, it's like I wear the mask and they still know who I am, but who say to me, I have a new found respect and admiration for teachers. That now that I got my kid at home and I see everything they got to do, and I got one kid that I'm working with, and those teachers have 30 or more, it's amazing the things they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I will continuously say that our teachers, our educators, they truly are the foundation of this nation. There is no nation in this world that offers a public free education like we do, and that gives opportunities to the most marginalized groups of students. And what this pandemic has done, in my opinion, it has illustrated that public education is the greatest thing that this nation has. And I'm hoping that this trickles all the way up to the feds, where they understand we need to invest in our public schools. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because we were not prepared for this pandemic, because we have not prepared our public schools for future education. So that's my huge thank you to all the teachers, especially in the Crestwood district, because I'll tell you, they have put forth effort that I'm just speechless. Some of the things that they've done.
Yeah, and I just want to say that this is all true at the university level as well. We're also finding ourselves unprepared and underfunded and not really able to, this has created so many problems for public education. It's been really stunning to live through this year and see what's happening. And yeah, I agree. We do need people to support the public schools and public education just across the board. That's a major issue, and hopefully this new administration will take that seriously. Not to say anything more on that topic. Anyway, it has been so nice talking to you today. I wish everyone at the Crestwood schools all the best getting through this year. And hopefully in September, you'll be able to open the doors and open your arms and, give hugs to all those students you weren't able to see this year. So thank you, Youssef. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and joining us today. If you have a story that you want to share that you think would be a good one for our team to be covering, please let us know. You can just reach out to us on Facebook or call the center. We look forward to having more of these conversations with people. Thank you so much, Youssef.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me. And thank you for all you do.
Thank you.